Went to start the F150 the other day, and it just wouldn't start. The fuel pump would kick on. I had spark. I had good fuel pressure, and I had compression. What happened was the crank sensor failed. So I had spark, but it was at the wrong time. I was finding loads of videos on doing crank sensors for the 4.6 and the 5.4, but I wasn't finding anything for these little 4.2s. So what you got to do is, it's pretty straightforward. You come down here on the passenger side. If you look right above your main crank pulley, right up here is your crank sensor. Passenger side, there's one 8mm bolt here, and then one right there on the top, and the plug. That's it. It takes about 5 minutes to change. It's pretty simple. But if your engine's cranking and you're not starting, and you got fuel and random spark, then that might be your problem. Since we got the truck out here, though, we got to do some more work to it. So I was doing the rear. On these, they have variable intake. There's an actuator on the back that opens and closes a little valve in your intakes, a little flap. And on these, the little plastic clip they use, they break and they fall out, and the little actuator arms fall off. And to get to them, you take the top of your clam off on your intake manifold. Let me get you stable here. Okay, so you take the top of your clam off, and you can get to them and swap them out. Well, I did it, and when I was putting it back together, I ripped a little spot in the side of the gasket. So now I got a little bit of a vacuum leak. So we're going to take care of that while we're in here. We just picked a whole intake gasket kit up. Velcro gaskets. Don't think you need the part number. I'm sure you can just Google 4.2 intake gaskets. So a little side thing. I've been switching all my LEDs over from these older, the amber type LED. Doesn't help that that housing's yellow, so that makes it look even worse. To these true white LEDs. And they seem to work way better for lighting up in the shadows, so it just really gets in there. that's about it for the impact. Without losing any of those bolts. These are the bottom gaskets for your intake manifold, the upper part of your intake manifold. We're going to swap those out too while we're in here. This is your little actuator. He tells your engine when to open and close the valves that are right down inside your runners, right inside your intake manifold. Some light. Okay. Yeah, if you look down in here, there's your valve. Here's another valve. And on that side, it's right there. And the little arm, bring you back up. Okay. Little arm right here turns at a certain RPM or something and opens that up. So it just changes between the two runners. But these little bushings right here, these little plastic pieces, they get brittle and break and fall off. And they're on the backs, and then they're up here, and then there's another one on the back down in there. But if those get stuck open or closed, or the arms fall off, your engine might throw a too lean or a too rich code. You know, these boots, let me see where you're focused at. Alright, these boots look like they're starting to crack where the base meets the head right there. So we're going to replace them too. I don't know what was going on with that cylinder, but there's all kind of crusty stuff going on around there. Yeah, it should seal pretty good. I mean, she was pretty tight going on. I don't think we're going to do the lower intake gaskets. I think that they're alright. So I already started cleaning it, but if you've got some carbon or anything going across your intake, especially underneath your gasket, so these ones are good, but these ones are kind of bad, and there's nothing going under the gasket yet, but it is going right up to the edge. You can take some gas. You can put just a little bit of gas on there. And you can scrape it off. Or wipe it off, you know, whatever you got. While you've got your manifold off, it's a good time to check all your passages. I don't know if you can see that too well. There's a big pile in there that came out of my one vacuum line here.